Welcome to A Certain Sound Daily Video Devotional. My name is Pastor Jerry, and thanks for joining us again on A Certain Sound. We're going to look at 2 Corinthians today. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, one of my favorite verses in the entire Bible. Of course, I could say that about all of them, couldn't I? 2 Corinthians chapter 4, let me read you what he says. Paul the Apostle was saying this. He says in verse 7 of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, he says, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. We are persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed." That sounds like a man of hope, doesn't it? Notice what he says. He says, we are not destroyed. We might be troubled, we might be perplexed, we might be persecuted, but we are not forsaken, we are not destroyed, and we are not distressed. To me, that's exciting. This is a man who has a new perspective on life. He got that when he gave his heart and life to Jesus Christ. I want to share with you, friend, that we have this treasure in earthen vessels. We are an earthen vessel. It's fragile, but the treasure in us is Jesus Christ. And because of him in us, that makes it possible for Paul to say, though we are troubled, we are not distressed. Why? Because the treasure on the inside is the power of God. It's Jesus. There was a group of scientists that went down into the ocean, and they went down very deep, so far down that no human being could ever stand the pressure, as you know, if you've ever done any scuba diving or heard about scuba diving. But these guys went down about a half a mile to a mile deep into the ocean, and you couldn't go down there without being in some kind of a container, some kind of a submarine. It's what they call the bathysphere. And a bathysphere is a round, kind of like a submarine that has thick plates on the outside. Why? Because the pressure is so great that without it, it would just crush you like a pop can, you know? So these guys got in this very well-built bathysphere, and what happened was they went down about a half a mile to a mile, and it was pitch dark. Knowing that that cabin was pressurized, they were safe. When they turned the light on in that dark place, they saw something that they thought was interesting, which of course we all know is down there that deep, and that is fish. Now I find it interesting that when they turned the light on and saw all these fish, that these fish did not have armored plates on their scales. They didn't have a compression chamber. They didn't have an engine or a motor. They were just fish going through the water. Why wasn't the fish compressed? How come the fish didn't crush and implode, so to speak? How come the fish was perfectly fine? Because God made that fish. And within that fish, God put enough pressure on the inside to combat any pressure from the outside. God built that into the fish when he created it. So inside that fish, soft and supple, under the water a mile down, inside that fish is pressure greater than the pressure that comes to that fish on the outside. You see, friend, what's on the inside is greater and can withstand the pressure on the outside. Friend, I don't know about you, but I'm getting all excited about that. The Bible says we have this treasure in earthen vessels. We are earthen vessels, but the Jesus that lives in me is greater than any pressure that can come from the outside at me. Is that not exciting to you? Friend, listen to what Paul says. He says, we have this treasure in earthen vessels so that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. You can't keep yourself from crushing, but he can. Listen to what I'm saying. With Jesus on the inside, no temptation has taken you but such as is common to man. He is faithful, and he will with the temptation make a way of escape. Friend, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Thank you for watching A Certain Sound Daily Video Devotional. Be sure to sign up for the iTunes podcast or daily email of A Certain Sound when you visit us online at www.acertainsound.com. A Certain Sound is a ministry of Word of Truth Christian Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. On behalf of Word of Truth Christian Center, I'm Sonetta. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.